trained. I'm back. Whew. I was rushing. I had some cottage cheese and fruit. That was easy for me to eat. To hold me.
Oh, okay.
I had to eat something real quick.
That same thing happened to my computer last night. Remember your computer last week?
Yeah.
All of a sudden I couldn't get on the internet until this morning, from like 3 o'clock yesterday until this morning.
Wow.
And they said it was a software. They said it was a software problem. So I went out, I bought all kind of cords, but then it came on this morning.
Oh, that's terrible. You had to put out money.
Yeah, wow. that Ethernet cord, I had to hook it up to the modem and all. I was like, oh, wow.
You know, these technical, like I said, my Zoom, it started last Tuesday. And somehow I was switched to a basic plan. Both my college, it was all messed up. Thursday morning, before plus someone at the college was looking into it for me, and he corrected some things. But in the meantime, I updated my plan. Somehow that was all switched. It was almost like somebody had went in there and changed things. Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know.
I know, but it's very frustrating.
I know.
I'm sure all of us have had some type of technical difficulty.
Right.
But yeah, I'm up and running and doing well now, so I'm really, really happy that things are better. Let's see who is present. We know that Ben is still, ill. And I'll be checking with him tomorrow because I wanted to drop some things off, put it in his mailbox. But we do have Steph. Hi, Steph. How are you? And we have Jacob, hi. Betsy, Kim. Okay, we're all here. All right, I have to again apologize for my craziness with my Zoom last week. We couldn't even have class. But I think we're still on track. So I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to go here. And I'm going to, I was already in quantity foods, yes. So here's our time line. And I should have bolded this so it could stand out a little bit better. But this was last week, and last week I was supposed to post a test. The quiz, wait a minute now. This was the lab book. So you got your lab book grades back, all right? And you're continuing to work on your lab books. Then I'm posting a test, which will consist of all the math we've covered. Some of your lab information will be in that test. But again, it's going to be quite a bit of math there. And of course, some lab information. Trying to think, that's basically it. I did post that quiz, as you can see. And that quiz should be closing soon. I'll take a look at it. You usually know those dates. I have to go in there and take a peek to see my dates. But I will be posting test 4 tonight. It will be test 4. Yeah.
Did I do test 3?
Test 3 was our lab book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. Yeah, test 3 is your lab book. Lab 1, 3, 4, and 5. The quiz, yes. Okay. Now I'm getting ready to post the test in Canvas. No, ask questions, so we'll make sure, you know, we're all on the same page. Good. And what I'm going to do now is go over our lab 7. Wait. We did lab 7 the other night. I'll be all right. I want to go over lab 8 on vegetables. All right. So I'm getting ready to go over that. So take your lab books out so you'll know what we're covering on Monday. I'm going to do that in a few minutes. And then I want to go over your project because I've given you all the math that we really are going to be using from this point on. I covered all the math. We're just going to keep working on our math. I'm going to go over the costing form, all right? And that form you're going to be using to cost out your recipes for your project. But I really, this is the last day in March. We're going to April. Your project is due on right here. It's due May 3rd. So you have about a month, 4 weeks to finish up on your course project, which is that preceptor dinner where you planned a dinner menu, you found the recipes for each item on the menu, you took those recipes, put them in block format, and now you should be ready to cost those recipes out, okay? So from that being said, let me go over lab 8, which is on vegetables. So I'm going to turn my document camera on, which is on. Let me get my lab book out. Okay.
But for the project, we're typing out every recipe, every ingredient. I mean, every like the
Every
dish.
recipe.
Every like if you have an entree.
Yeah, all your items on your menu, minus bread, roll, beverages. Right. Yeah, you need a recipe. Okay. Yeah, you need recipes for virtually all the items on your menu. Those recipes are in block format. You've got to put them in block format. And I'm going to go over. I'm going to spend some time with that project tonight. So we're looking at lab 8, starting on page 81 in your lab book, and I'm going to bring that up. Okay. Make this big and bring this down. All right. So we're looking at your lab book. And again, please study your vocabulary words because we're going to be working with the pigment found in your vegetables. There was pigment in your fruits, but we're going to focus predominantly on the pigments that are found, the coloring of your different vegetables. And these are the phytochemicals. So again, these are all phytochemicals that are found, okay, in your different pigment, those colors of your fruits and your vegetables. You're going to read principles. When I was grading your lab book, some of you didn't use some of the information which answers some of your questions in your lab book. So again, you've got to utilize references, information you already have that's available to you. So you're going to read your principles before Monday. so that you will understand vegetables come from different parts of plants, leaves, stems. Read the corresponding information in Food for 50. So you're going to read about your fruits. You should have read about your fruits prior to Monday night's class. And that's in your syllabus. So you had your Food for 50 book. You had the syllabus stating what pages are referring to your fruits. You'll see the same in your syllabus, what pages refer to your vegetables, so that you can get an idea of which one are leaf, stem, fruit, flower, root, tuber, bulbs, or seeds, because we eat just about all the different parts of a plant. And then these are different methods, cooking methods, and you will be using a number of these cooking methods on Monday night. And start reading about your cooking methods. A number of you attended the DTR review, and we finished that this past Friday evening. And as a lot, I know Kim can vouch for it. I think Jacob, you couldn't make it. Stephanie, you were present Friday, weren't you? I believe so.
Not the last one. I
Not the
came to the
last one.
first two.
Betsy, you were present. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And cooking methods came up. Just a lot of quantity food information came up. So it's very important that you study it now and you review it when you're studying for the DTR exam. They cover all of this. They even talk about, the pigments. Here you go. The color pigments in vegetables are categorized. So in your labs, you're going to be working with the chlorophyll. That's the green. Carotenoids, which are your yellow and your orange and your red. Your anthracite, cyanes, your red, your purple. Okay, so on and on. Read these, because you're going to be your charts will actually have these different pigments, and you're going to be using different vegetables that have these colors. It continues just talking about just some principles, things that you should know. So read this and then read in your Food for 50 about your vegetables. You are going to be completing, make a note, because I'm finding you get in the labs and then you ask me, what are we doing tonight? You're going to be completing Roman numeral 1, the studied effects of heat and pH on pigments and texture in vegetables. And read this procedure. Write down, you're going to be using a 1/4 teaspoon. They didn't give you the amount of baking soda or cream of tartar that you're going to be using. But per cup, per cup of water, you're going to be adding a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And again, follow the instructions. You're going to be cooking for 15 minutes. And we should have kale for your green, beets for your red, purple, cauliflower for white, carrots for your orange, and red cabbage for the red, blue. And you're going to be cooking in 1 cup of water, a 1/4 teaspoon of your baking soda, all of these vegetables. And then you're going to record, the appearance of those vegetables. And then you're going to take those same vegetables, 1 cup of water, and add a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. And then you're going to record the appearance, cooking for 15 minutes, and then an additional 15 minutes, which would be a total of 30 minutes. What is the appearance of those vegetables? The appearance, again, you're looking for color, you're looking at texture. You're not going to taste them. No, I wouldn't do that to you, okay? You're going to save the liquid. It tells you up here, and you're going to, describe the liquid. So there's things that you are going to describe about each one of these vegetables once they've been cooked a certain amount of time with either baking soda or cream of tartar. Then you're going to answer the questions. What effect did the baking soda have on? And these are the pigments. What effect did the baking soda have on them? And you're going to have to answer that in the lab, because you're not going to know if you don't examine and answer that. What effect did it have on those different pigments? Okay, from color to texture. And then and it asks you, what are the effects of the cream of tartar have on? So the table didn't necessarily have a space for you to record the effects. You record it in the question area. And then it's going to say, what effect did prolonged moist heat have on maintaining texture and pigment? That prolonged moist heat was that 30 minutes. So you're answering the effects of cooking them at 30 minutes. What recommendations would you give in cooking vegetables regarding maintenance of color, nutrients, and texture? Okay. Then we're going to go to Roman numeral 2. And Yusan will purchase a variety of different potatoes. She will have we call them red bush potatoes, red potatoes. She's going to have Idaho or russet potato. And then she's going to have what we call an all-purpose potato. And we usually get the Yukon Gold. So there's going to be 3 different varieties of potatoes. And you're going to cook a potato from each variety using the baked potato oven method. And then, let me turn my page. You have table. The tables really help you, because here's your table. You're going to be entering the information about your potatoes. You're going to write, here it has baked potato, red potato, all purpose. So you know you're going to have 3 different varieties. The conventional is going to be in the oven. That's your oven bake. The appearance, the flavor, moistness, and texture. Then you're going to take the 3 potatoes and you're going to microwave one of each of the types of potatoes. And you're going to record the appearance, the flavor, moistness, and texture. And they give you some terms that you can use when describing the appearance, texture, moistness, and flavor. All right. And of course, then it shows you how to cook each variety in a microwave. So you're doing Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2. You're also, and this is Roman numeral 2A, the potatoes. Because if I flip that page, yes, Roman numeral 2A. And you're going to also perform B. B is using broccoli. And we only have one type of broccoli, but you're going to steam broccoli, and we're going to use the steamer. a steamer in the kitchen. So you're not going to steam it on the range. You're going to use the actual steamer. And then you're going to microwave your broccoli. And then here's the table that you fill out. The color of your steam, the color of your microwave broccoli, texture, and flavor. Then, again, you're answering all questions, okay? Some of you left your questions blank and you lost a lot of points because you didn't answer all your questions. Answer all your questions. And then we are going to do on page 89, the baked spaghetti squash. And this is your last item for your lab, okay? And then study your recipe here, but we're gonna have spaghetti squash, and each one of you are going to individually do your baked spaghetti squash. To my knowledge, on Monday, you'll work in the same groups you did this last Monday night. And you split the work up. Again, there's 2 in each group. You can have someone do the baking soda for each one of your vegetables. Someone use the cream of tartar on your vegetables. And again, you can go ahead and fill out all your information after these are done, because you need to have those items in front of you to adequately answer these questions. And then you move on to the potatoes. You can have one person do the oven, and then the other one microwave the potato. And then again, fill out your table. Broccoli, you're gonna have one person steam the broccoli, the other person put the broccoli in the microwave. So again, just splitting that up, and then fill out your table at the bottom. And then each one of you individually are gonna do the baked spaghetti squash. And that's on page 89, 8. Are we good? Any questions? And again, answering all questions. So you got to go all the way in the back. And you're going to answer questions on 94 and 95. So you're not going to leave any of the questions blank. Okay? So that's our production for Monday. Let me share my screen and go back to minimize that. Yeah, I'm going back here. Okay, so from here, I want to talk about your project. Let me go to assignments and see if I have something specific there. Here's a group project. Oh, you know what I forgot also? Remember that cultural project I gave you? Let me see something. Assignments.
Yeah.
Let me move that out of the way. Yeah, each week. Here, did you post them?
Yes, I posted mine.
Okay, let me check. And then let's say next week I should have time and we'll backtrack. Yeah, there's Kim. She posted hers. Stephanie posted hers. Good. Now I want to go back. We need to share your information because you did different ones. Ben did not. Betsy posted hers. Okay, good. All right. So next week we want to go over that. We'll go back to that in Food for 50. Look at the different, religious practices. This is also on your DTR exam. So I like to make sure I incorporate and we go over this information because again, when we apply the information, we review it, it helps you to understand and remember it. And then of course, you go through that outline when you're studying for your DTR and you're gonna see that they go over the different religions and what they will, consume in their diet. So it's very important that we're familiar with that. Okay, good job posting there. We just didn't go over it, and I want to go over that. So let's go back to our assignments. Boop, boop, boop. And I want to, here we go here. And it's explained pretty good here. This right here, is this accurate? We'll look at the due date later to see if that matches. I can check now real quick. I got time. Let me go back to my, let's go back to the home page.
It's sure flown.
Let's make sure those dates match. The date that it's due is the 5th, 2021. So I have the 6th here. It's due on the 5th. So if we go back here, I think I can do an edit real quick. Group project, menu, edit. Go here. Come on, open up. It's due the 5th, 21. All right, fix that. Everything else should be fine, okay? And then I'm going to save it. All right. So, this is what we want to go over again. I'll show you where you should be right now because now I'm going to go into cost out each recipe for portions based on that 30% food cost. You should, and I will go over the specification sheet. You should have all this completed. You should have already, again, thought about that preceptor appreciation dinner. And I went over all that again, using the equipment in our kitchen. And you're going to be planning an appetizer, a soup, a salad. You need 2 entrees. You need 4 sides, roll butter, assorted of desserts, and I went over all this with types of desserts and assortment of beverages. For your appetizer, your soup, your salad, your 2 entrees, your 4 sides, and your assorted desserts, you need to have recipes. Develop a standardized recipe using the block format for each menu item. If you don't know what the block format is, it's the recipe format in your Food for 50. The format in your lab book is a standard format. I want it in block format. Your recipes are to yield 40 portions. So you're going to have to do that new over old, use that conversion factor, and adjust the amounts of your original recipe to yield 40 portions, which would be your new amount. Do not forget to specify portion size. Now, let me go over how you develop your specifications for ingredients in your recipe. Every recipe, every item, even when you're buying bread, you're purchasing it from a supplier. They've got to know what type of roll. You know, we have all kinds of rolls out there, Kaiser rolls, hamburger, I don't know, dinner rolls. We can go on and on and on. Butter. There's different types of butter. We have unsalted, we have salted butter. You can even buy different flavored butter, but you know, we'll just stay with the standard salted or unsalted. The ingredients you need for your desserts, the beverages. You have to specify the type of coffee you want. You have to specify, you know, the type of tea, the type of soft drinks, whatever those beverages are. Every ingredient has a specification. Let me go over modules. And if I have not opened that module up for you on specifications, I will. Okay, here we go. It's available to you. All right. So it's been published, and specification sheet. I gave you a specification sheet, specification factors, and an example of the specification. If you go here, let's talk about what are specifications. First of all, specifications is what you determine in your food service department. You develop a menu. You have recipes for those menu items. And in those recipes, it tells you those ingredients. So that in turn will help you specify or determine what you need to go into production. But you have to purchase these items. So you've got to tell your supplier, what type of butter do you want? Okay? Because you can't, even if you get on the phone, you say, I want butter, and he's going to say, or she is going to say, do you want salted or unsalted? You don't want them to keep asking you detailed information about what product you want. You should have that already determined, and you should give them that information. The specification form is, and we talked about specifications in food service operations last semester, okay? And if you look at your food service book, I taught food service earlier the other day. Oh, here it is. I need to put my books up. I lost my screen. There we go. Screen is back. Oop. All right. Food service management book. If you can also get information, and it is in the purchasing chapter. And purchasing is chapter 6. And specifications, I might have already turned to that page. Let me make sure that I'm covering all specification information. Yeah, here we go. Starting on page 168 in your food service management book, there is some information, make or buy calculation, that we won't worry about that. You're gonna make it, okay? You're gonna make it. You're gonna be starting with fresh ingredients. Food quality at the bottom of page 168. Quality standards, and they have grades. They have grading and acceptance services, meat, poultry, eggs. When it comes to quality, here we are here. So whenever you're describing the quality, You can also use your food service management book, starting on page 168 at the bottom, continuing on 169. There is also on page 170, standards for USDA grades for canned fruits and vegetables. You have, brand. See, right in here, grades, brand names. So grades start typically at the top of page 169. And you see different categories of food, the different grades that are available on the market. You've got to specify that grade to your supplier. You don't want them to determine your grade, because you're going to be paying prices that you may or may not want to pay. Is it meeting that quality of your clients, your patients? So every food service department has to determine that for themselves. You don't want the supplier to be making those decisions for you. So you have to be able to specify your grade or a brand name. So I'm trying to get I know I'm all out of whack because my screen fell over. A little bit better. All right, so you have your food service management book that can guide you. You have food for 50. Food for 50, there is, if you look under your meats, I think it's chapter 5. Chapter 5. Look under meats. Read about meats, your poultry, your eggs, your fish. They will name the different grades also there. So you've got a lot of resources so that you can write very specific specification forms. That's what we mean. You've got to be specific. Starting with the name. The name is that trade or common name. And for example, I have samples down here. The name would be peach or peaches, okay? And I put halves here because peaches can be chunks, they can be halves, they can be slices, okay? Those are the typical different cuts that canned peaches can be sold in. I decided to put my halves here as part of the name. The quantity. Now the quantity is the amount to be purchased. The amount to be purchased. When you're purchasing from a supplier, remember I talked about 6 cans per case? These are number 10 cans. And I can show you a number 10 can when we get in the kitchen. We do have some number 10 cans on the shelf. I hope you still have some. If not, I'll have Yusan buy something in a number 10 can. She usually buys tomatoes in a number 10 can, okay? So I think we may have a can on the shelf, or I can just email her, or just one week we'll have tomatoes that we have to use, and I'll say, oh, here's that number 10 can. There are 6 of them in a case. There's always 6 number 10 cans in a case, okay? You have to purchase a whole case, because when we're dealing with US Foods, Cisco, some of these name companies, they're not going to sell you just one can. If you want one can, you better go to Acme ShopRite, or you can go to Sam's Club to get one can, okay? But when you're purchasing from a supplier, you've got to buy the whole case, all right? So you're buying at least one case. My quality again is a description. And under quality, you need to put a grade. Many foods have grades. Grades is voluntary, where inspection is mandatory. We've got to talk about that more. We did in food service operations, but we're going to pick up and go over that again in quantity foods. Again, your grading is voluntary. It is enacted to encourage a consistent standard of quality that would be maintained by many products. So we have manufacturers of different food products. So this grading is a standard. So when you look at canned vegetables or fruit, we usually see fancy, and if you look in the book, I'm going back to, on page 170 in your food service management book, grades, these are standards for canned foods. It says grade, US grade A or fancy. So you can ask for a grade A. I would buy grade A because this is an excellent quality, high color, ripe, firm, free from blemishes, uniform in size, and very, what we're saying, symmetrical, meaning that they're going to be of the same shape, okay? You have to specify the syrup. Heavy syrup is about 55% sugar, may vary from 40 to 70%, depending on acidity of the fruit. So the manufacturer has to determine how sweet is the fruit to begin with. So there's a range of the amount of, or what percentage is going to be sugar, all right? You can specify US grade B, but it's a fine quality, high color, ripe, firm, free from serious blemishes, uniform in size, and the symmetrical, about 40% sugar usually contains. All right, so again, when we use these guidelines, when we're writing specifications, so you don't have to remember all of the specific characteristics of each grade, but you need to remember when it comes to fruits and vegetables, we have a US grade A and a US grade B, okay? That's where we would order. We have US grade C, and we, again, you're gonna get a poor quality. And nobody wants to open up a can of peaches and see discoloration, some peaches being firm, a yellow color, some of them being smushy and a bright orange color. Part of the pit is still in the can. You know, God forbid one of your customers bite and break a tooth because part of the pit's there. You don't want skin to be still on the peaches. Some of these lower grades of fruits and vegetables, you find just parts of that plant in there. I've opened up a can of green beans, which I hate canned green beans, and I've found a darn stem in there. So again, in the industry, you've got to specify that quality. Very important. Specify the grade, and there are brands. There's brands for fruits and vegetables. We have Green Giant. We have help me out, Bird's Eye. If you don't know brands, I gave you a link to go to different stores, and so they have different brands. I'll show you that in a few minutes, where you're going to get your prices. So prices are going to be coming from different stores. But that being said, let's continue here. So under quality, the grade and the brand, or one of the or the other. And you see with my peaches, I put grade A Del Monte. And then my package form, I have 6-count case. And the unit price, I want everybody to write this down, because if I find anybody putting actual prices in here, I'm going to take an extra 10 points off, because it's the price that the unit is based on. It's not the price of the peaches. The price is based on per number 10 can. Per number 10 can. No prices in here. So I don't see any dollar signs or anything. No prices, no numbers. Per number 10 can. That's the unit on which the price is based on. Miscellaneous is the syrup. I want light syrup. I could have specified heavy syrup. I could have said packed in natural juice. I could have said packed in pear juice. So we have different, our fruits are packed in different juices. Sometimes it's their natural juice. You don't want packed in water. Years ago, we didn't have the natural juice. It was either packed in syrup or it was packed in water. If you imagine, not very flavorful. Now, I have another example of beef tenderloin. I'm ordering 35 pounds, okay? And basically, they're going to sell each beef tenderloin 7 pounds up. So I'm basically ordering 5. So the quantity, I could have said 5 whole tenderloins, but I put 35 pounds there. That'll work also, okay? The quality. Now, the IMP numbers, and I believe they talk about the IMP numbers in your food service management book. And I am going to, yes, on page 175 in your food service management book, it states specifications, and it puts the name of the product. It said federal grade or brand. It talks about the unit on which the price is quoted. Let me put this under the document camera. Because this is a good page for you to use. Let me share my screen. Here's my document camera. Okay. Now, again, this is your food service management book. I'm going to make this a little larger. Can you turn that down, please? I'm sorry, class. I'm sorry. Yeah, they got my TV up behind me too loud. All right, this is page 175. Even if you don't have your food service management book, take some notes here. This is a food service management book. It even gives you a definition of specification, a detailed description of a product, stated in terms that are clearly understood by both the buyer and the seller. So I already showed you on that specification form that I have a column for the name. This is the common or the trade name of that item. I also, now, next I had the quantity, which I said based on that supplier, you're gonna have to buy at least one full case. I could say 1 case, 2 cases. I can't order by the can. They're not going to sell me a single can or 2 cans. I got to buy the whole case. So you have to know that package form, okay? And we'll go back to that in a few minutes, but that quality is that federal grade or brand that I was just talking about. And it says, as already noted, the USDA has established federal grades for most agricultural products, but many packers of food processors have developed their own brand or trade names for canned, frozen, or other processed foods. If a bidder submits a quotation on a brand name product in lieu of the federal grade, buyers may request verification of quality by the USDA acceptance service. See grading acceptance service early in the chapter, food quality. So this is that area on the specification sheet for quality. Then you have an area on the specification sheet. I just talked about the unit price, unit on which the price is quoted. I use the word based. This refers to the size and type of unit, such as the case, pound, gallon, can, bunch, or other unit in common use. It is not the price, folks. It's the unit that the price is based on. Name and size the container. This is the package form column. This examples of container size include case holding 6 number 10 cans, 30-pound pail of frozen cherries, or a crate of fresh shell eggs. When it comes to count per container or approximate number per pound, examples include 30, 35 count, can peach halves per number 10 can. So you can read, these are just more specifics on how many of your items are packaged. And then additional information may be included for various categories of foods. This could be miscellaneous. Okay, so please use this page. And what I wanted you to note is that they do talk about the IMP number. And it talks about when you're, these are basically talking about meats. Read this, but right here, the USDA, for example, publishes the institutional meat purchasing specification known as the IMPS. IMPS are a series of meat specifications and primarily by large volume buyers. See their website at the end of the chapter. I think I have some sheets with IMP numbers. I can scan them and put them in your modules. So I'll do that in case you're going to have beef or pork or lamb. We don't use IMP numbers for poultry items, okay? They're used for beef, pork, lamb, veal, okay? All right, so that being said, I want to go back to my PowerPoint. Curve. Oh, wrong place. This happened once before. I couldn't find my area. Here we are. I found it. I'm back. I have so many pages up. I even have some pages from a previous class I taught. I need to get that, you know, closed. Okay. Talked about name. I talked about quantity, quality, package form. All right. Again, that package form could be fresh, it could be frozen. It's that number 10 cans, the 6 number 10 cans in a case. The textbook or Food for 50 gives you a lot of package form. They give you a lot of the grades. Brand names, you've got to go to stores, and I'll show you where you can find some brand names if you can't recall some. Here's that unit price. It's the unit on which the price is based on. All right. It could be per pound, per case, per bottle. Miscellaneous is specific factors needed to obtain that exact item that you want. It could be the growing area, it could be the feed, it could be the temperature of the food. It could be that if you may be having issues with dented cans, you would say miscellaneous, on the miscellaneous, will not accept, dented cans. This is to make sure you get the product that you want. And it's also setting the criteria of what you will accept and what you won't accept. When you are receiving these items from that delivery person, you look at your specifications, and if it does not meet your specifications, you reject that item because you've told them up front what your specifications are. That's another purpose of a specification also. So that's my peaches, my beef tenderloin. I stopped by telling you, explaining the imp numbers a little bit. All your beef items are the imp numbers with 100. If this had been veal, it would have been, lamb is the 200 series, 300 is your veal, and your 400 is your pork, okay? But I'll provide those sheets for you. I'll get them posted up, and because I can find those sheets and get them posted, okay? In case you need those numbers for your different meats. I'm also asking, this is my grade, it's prime. And Food for 50, also your food service management book, it tells you the grades of beef. Beef is prime, choice, select, standard, okay? And when it comes to poultry, you have grade A, grade B. Pork is US number 1, US number 2. Again, typically you want to, with beef, you don't always have to go with prime, but you want to at least get a choice there. In the in the healthcare, we generally go with choice. When you go with prime beef, you're going to get more fat. Yes, it's going to be juicy and flavorful, but you're going to pay a higher price, and you will probably be just as satisfied with a choice. Okay, with pork, I go with US number 1. Because if you go to a 2, definitely down to a 3, you're going to get a lot of fat, a lot of trim. You're going to get a lot of waste. And you're going to have to order so much more to get the yield that you want. So you might as well pay more money per pound to get a higher yield. So in the industry, that's what we think about when we're purchasing. The cryovac, this is an aging process. We also refer to it as wet aging. After that animal has been slaughtered, What needs to be aged is your beef, lamb, and your veal. Pork does not need to be aged. Your poultry is not aged. But your beef, your lamb, and your veal must be aged. I will be talking more about the aging process, maybe not next week, because I want you to present your those cultural, religious, menus. But we may also have time for me to go over some of your different types of food products. And when I talk about meat, I talk about the aging process. It's also in Food for 50. So that it's there for you to read, but I do like to go over it also. You've got to know this information because on national exams, they'll ask you something about the packaging of meat. They'll ask you about the different cuts of meat. They can throw a question in there about that. So I will go over that next week. But again, it is in Food for 50. So that Cryovac wet aging, you've seen the Cryovac packaging. We will be purchasing some meats when we get into one of our labs, and I'll make sure that Yusan orders it when she purchases it. It'll be in a Cryovac so that you will see what the packaging looks like. You'll see the inspection sticker on that the wrapper. It's a very firm plastic. After they've slaughtered the animal, they have fabricated the meat. They'll package that meat in plastic and they'll seal it in this plastic, and it will be vacuum packaged where they will take all the oxygen out, and it's tightly sealed in this packaging. During transportation, it will allow that meat to go through the aging process. So it's aging in that package. And by the time it reaches the buyer, it's fully aged. It takes meat about 12, 14 days to age. So by the time it gets where it needs to go, it has aged. You want these meats to age because you want, when an animal is being slaughtered, it contracts its muscles. They know that they're seeing their last day. Okay, so their muscles tighten up. So if you immediately cook that meat, it's going to be very tough. We call it green meat. It's the muscles have not relaxed. It takes about 10, 12, maybe 14 days, somewhere between that, for those muscles to relax. One aging method is just simply hanging the carcasses in a large refrigerated room. And I know everybody has seen Rocky, at least Rocky 1, Rocky 2, okay? And how he went into that walk-in refrigerator and he punched the sides of the carcasses that were hanging from the ceiling. That was dry aging. They still do dried aging, but I think mostly wet aging, packing it in the firm plastic, the Cryovac. So wet aging is done a lot more. There were some drawbacks from dry aging. As the carcasses were hanging in the refrigerated rooms, the rooms were refrigerated and they were held at temperatures at about 32 degrees. Very cold. So it wasn't that they were temperature abused. It was more of that humidity where the outer part of the carcasses would dry out. Wet aging, you're not going to get any drying of the outer part of the meat. It's going to stay moist. It's going to age. But that dry aging, that's why they call it dry aging, there was some drying occurring on the outer part of that of the meat, and they would have to shave that off. So there was some waste after the dry aging process. Other than that, it was one of our first methods. It's still used. It aged, those muscles relax. The natural enzymes would help relax those muscles, and you would have very tender, juicy, delicious meat. But that's why meat has to go through the aging process. Beef, lamb, and veal. Pork does not have to be aged, okay? So I went over aging pretty good, so I may not have to cover that later, but it's going to be price per pound. That's the unit in which the price is based on. And here I put miscellaneous that I want to receive only at 38 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. And you can find some of these other miscellaneous. Go to ServSafe, and they'll tell you, what receiving temperatures you want for certain foods, okay? It'll tell you what you're looking at for receiving. Sometimes that is your miscellaneous information, okay? I did pretty good. Any questions about your specifications? I also have a form for you to follow. And let me go back to, if I go there, yeah, it sends me back better. Here's your example of the specification sheet. You can download it and you can type right on it, all right? But let's just take a look at it. Download it, and if you download it, it is in Word or either Excel, where you can just type on it. Of course, you can't type on it in this particular window. So you put the name, every ingredient in all your recipes. But remember, many ingredients go into multiple recipes. Salt. If it's your table salt, you only have to write one specification. If it is ground black pepper, one specification. If you're using unsalted or salted butter and it's going to be used in multiple recipes, you don't need one specification. Eggs go in multiple recipes, one specification. All right? I don't want to see salt here and the same salt here. Yeah, that makes no sense. All right? So, but every ingredient, whatever you need to purchase to produce your menu has to be written on your specification. Your quantity, you can't order 1 teaspoon of salt. Trust me, I've had students put 1 teaspoon of salt. I said, come on, this is a specification. You have to buy a case of salt. Case of salt. All right? Now, so this is your form you're going to follow, but I want to show you something else. Food suppliers. I hope this works. Hope it works for me. It will for you. All right. All right. They want me to log in. Maybe I can go this way. Yeah. What we have here, I think this is Wegmans, we have Aldi, we have Acme, we have ShopRite. Those are your food suppliers here. All right. Let me go to ShopRite. Let me see if it will let me go in. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Let me see what I have. All right. Let me see. I don't know what my password is. You will have more success than me because I'm already in the system and they are not letting me in. Let me try another way. Let me go back to this module. Let me edit. Let me see if I can get in here. Yeah, I'm going to go right to the website and see. And maybe my problem is using the Instacart. Let me see. Let me see if I can get in here. I might have to share my screen once I get there. Oh, it's doing the same thing. You'll be able to go in there, folks. I'm having problems. Yeah, I'm having problems. So I'm going out. I'm coming back to you. Yeah, go in there. Students used it last semester. They had no problems. Okay, it's just basically I'm having problems. Are we back? Can you see? So you're going to go into food suppliers, and this is where you're going to get your prices. Okay, I would shop at one place. I recommend ShopRite. I really do. You know, because I know you'll be able to get all of your items for your menu, that you will find your brands. Now, if ShopRite will sell you something, you know, in different units, like you can buy, you don't have to buy the full case. So I'll allow you for quantity. You know, you can buy one 10-pound bag of flour, or you can buy a larger bag of flour. But again, you know, I don't want to see 1 cup, because ShopRite's not going to sell you a cup or a teaspoon of salt or anything like that. That's in your quantity. I still want you to order in grades. You've got to get that experience. And technically, I can have you order per case and all that, but I think I'll relax that criteria for you. I'll relax that, but I won't relax brand names and or grades. I'm going to stop there. I was going to go over the costing sheet, which is here, okay? Don't have much time. I'll click on it. And this again won't work. I would have to download it, like you'll have to download it. And I'll show you this form. And you can start using it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Let me share my screen. You should see the costing sheet now. I'm going to enable it. Everybody see? Oh, it kicked me out. I'm going back in. Everybody sees the costing sheet? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So you can go ahead and start using this costing sheet, all right? Because you already have your recipes in the block format, yielding the 30 servings, all right, 30. Follow criteria. I switch it up every once in a while. I believe it's 30 I know you're supposed to be using a 30, no, it's 40. Your recipes are yielding 40 portions, okay? Your food cost percentage is 30. Again, go back to the syllabus, go back to assignments. I was just there and we were following it. So you can type the name of your recipe here, okay? And recipe costing form, yeah. Type the name of your recipe. Or yeah, menu item, you can type, that's a place for your name, that's optional. Name of your recipe, your yield, your portion size. You type in your ingredient, you type in the quantity, and your unit goes in this column. Don't put the unit in here. It will not work. This is formatted for each, is formatted for pound, for teaspoon, tablespoon. You following me? All right. So make sure, and you can do one recipe for next week, or if you feel comfortable using this, you're going to save each one of these recipes as its name. When you save it, you got to save it because you've got to be able to include it in your project, because I need to see the costing sheet for each one of your items. And, you know, and I'll talk about the Q factor next week. So if you just get your prices in, remember, this is the AP cost, your yield percentage, produce items, they're not going to be 100% yield. So if I know you're using onions, carrots, I don't know, lettuce of others, I'm going to be looking for these percentages to be less than 100. Therefore, your EP cost is going to be higher than your AP cost, and then your recipe costs will be here. This is that Excel program. It will do a lot of your calculations for you. So don't tamper with these columns. You know, they can be fixed. I you know, fix mine. If you go, see how it's been, there's codes to automatically multiply. This means multiply. So C7 times G7, okay? Or yeah, well, it does your calculations for you, okay? It is multiplying, by the way, all right? Any questions? We're running out of time, but some of you may want to, again, I hope you're up to this point that you can start costing out your recipes. Now, you don't have to use the method down here. This is because you already have your block formats. So ignore this bottom section. You don't have to use that. You're just simply costing out your recipes. And make sure that you put your number of portions here. How many, what is your yield? Because it will give you the cost for one, cost per portion. I'll go over this next week. We got a lot to go over next week. Any questions? So let me go out of this. I don't want to save. I want to go back to here. Yes. And I want to go back to home because I want to make sure. Oh, okay. Doing a review. So I've got to post your test. Test 4, I got to put that up. You're working on your project, okay? That's you're writing specifications. If you're behind, you got to catch up, and you just simply go to the area, your assignments, click on, now you're working individual on your recipes. Yes. Yeah. I made this an individual project. You're not working as a group individually. Just go step by step here. All right. You're working individual. I mentioned the word group, but in this class, I'm going individual. Okay. All right. Any questions? Questions? Okay. I'm gonna call it a night. You didn't fall asleep on me, did you? The only person I see awake is Jacob. Hi, Jacob. Everybody else, I have pictures or a name up there, so you could have taken a nap for all I know. All right, everybody. Yeah, it is late. Okay.
All right. Good night.
Have a good night. I know.
You
So
too.
long.
Everybody.
I can sleep in tomorrow morning. I'm bragging. Maybe some of you can too. That would be a good thing. Take care.
Okay.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
All
Good
right.
night.
You can rest your brains.